Have you ever felt like your world shattered into a million pieces in the blink of an eye? Like everything you held dear slipped through your fingers, leaving you grasping at empty air? Imagine this. You walk into your own home, your sanctuary, only to find the one person you trusted above all else entwined with your closest friend, a friend you've known since the innocent days of college. It's a betrayal that cuts deep, slicing through the very fabric of trust and loyalty. How would you react? How would you pick up the shattered fragments of your heart and carry on? It's a question that echoed in my mind as I stood there, disbelief etched on my face, watching the scene unfold before me. Let me tell you what I did. I didn't succumb to the darkness threatening to consume me. I didn't let their betrayal define my worth. No, I chose a different path. I decided to reclaim my power, to turn the tables on those who thought they could break me. It wasn't easy, but with each step I took, I felt a glimmer of hope amidst the chaos. I orchestrated a plan, a meticulously crafted scheme to expose their deceit and restore justice to my shattered world. It wasn't about revenge, but reclaiming my dignity and self-respect. But you'll have to stay tuned to hear the full story. Trust me, it's a roller coaster ride you won't want to miss. So, if you want to learn how to rise from the ashes of betrayal and emerge stronger than ever, make sure to hit that subscribe button below. Together we'll navigate the twists and turns of this extraordinary journey. My roommate Brian was a cool guy. We hit it off instantly and became close friends. We did all the typical college stuff, partying, drinking, you name it. We were quite the ladies' men, if I say so myself. But then I met Andrea, a senior girl who caught my eye. We clicked, and soon we were dating. Brian was supportive and respected our relationship. Fast forward, Andrea and I tied the knot, and life was good. I worked hard as an auto mechanic, aiming to open my own shop. Andrea had her online business, and things seemed perfect until Brian visited one day. On my way home, I had a flat tire, delaying me by about 30-40 minutes. When I arrived, something felt off. Andrea seemed disheveled, and Brian was there longer than usual. My gut told me something was amiss. Brian had a history of cheating, and while I disapproved, he remained a friend. Before you judge, cutting off a friend, especially one from college, isn't easy. Despite his flaws, Brian had always been there for me. But hearing him brag about his affairs grated on my nerves. Still, I couldn't just erase years of friendship. But then again, Brian had crossed lines before. His sister-in-law, for example, was always off limits. It made me wonder, had he crossed a line with my wife? So, let's unpack this. You've got Brian, the less-than-ideal role model for marital fidelity, and Andrea, your wife, who's supposedly into selling wholesome merchandise but might not be practicing wholesomeness herself. It's like a scene from a suspense movie titled The Suspicious Hairdo. You walk in, and your wife's hair looks like it just went 12 rounds with a tornado while Brian's playing the innocent bystander card. If this were a movie, it would scream trouble. It's tough not to jump to conclusions, especially with Brian's track record. Now, let's fast forward to an unexpected turn of events. Your wife comes clean about what happened. Brian made advances, and they ended up making out. She claims it didn't go further than that, but confession or not, it's still cheating. Knowing you weren't imagining things, you feel relieved, but now you're stuck in a whirlwind of emotions. Do you show mercy since she confessed, or do you stand firm in the face of betrayal? It's a tough call. You needed space to process, and rightfully so. Then comes the confrontation with Brian. His version of events slightly differs from your wife's confession. He claims she made the first move, but does that excuse his actions? It's a tangled web of deceit and betrayal, and now you're left wondering whom to believe and how to proceed. Sometimes, life throws curveballs that leave us questioning everything we thought we knew. But one thing's certain, it's time to navigate this storm and find clarity. So, I was gearing up to meet with a divorce lawyer last time I left you. Well, I did, and let me tell you, she knew her stuff. I'm clueless about divorce proceedings, so her expertise was a godsend. I wasted no time in paying her retainer fee because, let's face it, legal expenses would pile up. Back home, I didn't exactly roll out the red carpet for my wife. She tried to act like everything was normal, cracking jokes and whatnot, but I wasn't. She eventually apologized again, but apologies can't undo betrayal. The papers were ready, and I served them to her without hesitation. She looked shocked, which baffled me. Divorce seemed like a pretty logical consequence for someone who cheated with their spouse's best friend. But hey, denial is a powerful thing. Her constant questioning of whether I was serious only fueled my anger. She dared to ask if her confession meant anything. Seriously? It didn't change a thing. Her tears didn't soften me either, especially when she wished she hadn't confessed. That was the last straw. I had to leave before I did something I'd regret. The divorce process kicked off shortly after, leaning in my favor. She was still the main breadwinner with her business, and I could snag some alimony. What do I make of it? It's a reminder that sometimes the best revenge is living well and letting karma do its thing. And hey, if a little social media exposure helps facilitate that process, then why not? Now, before we wrap up, let's take a moment to reflect on this story. While the emotions portrayed are raw and relatable, it's essential to acknowledge the complexities of relationships and the impact of betrayal. As we navigate our journeys, may we find strength in facing adversity and clarity in seeking closure. Until next time, stay strong and resilient, and remember that you're never alone in your struggles.